Haven't seen you all day. You show up when I turn the camera on. What's going on, kings and queens? Don't mind my buddy here. I was just gonna tell you guys, I don't know how to start this off. First of all, I'd like to say I've always been a fan of Family Radio Service, FRS. And let her out of the room real quick. She's looking like it. Come on. Wanna go out? Family Radio Service, that's what I was saying. I was always been a pretty good fan of Family Radio Service. I keep a couple in the back of my truck. I use them, for certain times we need to do things in other parts of work. I can rely on those to talk to each other. Other people, I guess carry two. Well, anyway, comms. Well, first things first. You look at what's going on in the world now, and I've always been kind of a preparedness-minded person. And my older channels used to be all about preparedness, and I just moved away from that and moved toward just kind of stuff that I think is fun. But I could not pass this deal up, and I'm going to open this thing up. So it's a series of family service radios, a charger, and a throat mic. But first things first is I'm going to start out with, I used to have a ham license, and I let it expire. I decided if I ever go back, I'll get the general license. And I think ham radio is good for, like if something really serious happened. It's more, to me, I think it would be more something that's good to listen to kind of glean an idea of what's going on outside of my sphere of influence. And then for, international and national radio, listening to the what's the one, the HF radio might be a good idea to see what's going on nationally. But for localized things and localized situations and occurrences, I was still a big fan of FRS. Maybe it's not perfect, but I just personally think FRS for me is the way to go, And I see a lot of these other ham radio, portables that are out there. And I used to have a portable. I used to have a Yaesu. I think it was FT70, and I used to have the little FT10 or whatever, the little 1.5 watt. And one night, they had these guys at the other end of town, and they're flying these RC airplanes. And so anyways, they were flying these RC airplanes, and they had LED lights on them that were operated by remote control. And they look like flying saucers. And the guys would go up, they'd ride these two up there at the slipstream, and then they cut the motors and let them glide, and they'd fly a couple others around it. It got so common that the police departments were going out there and just kind of asking them to stop because the police department was getting so many phone calls. So anyways, I was listening on a local repeater on my ham radio. So these two guys were talking about what they're seeing over there on the end of town. And so I log on, I give them my call sign, not log on, but key up. I said, well, yeah, actually what those are is those are the remote control airplanes. They're out there on the other end of town, and they're flying them. And, I just kind of told them what's going on. So I go clear, because I'm supposed to go clear, when I get out of the conversation. And the other guy, he just keys up and walks all over me, okay? And I'm just like, I can't even go clear. Finally I go, okay, blah, 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 clear, bye. He won't even let me go clear. And then another time, I was on the radio, and I was talking to some guys on a net. And I was supposed to talk about a subject having to do with preparedness. And I decided, I don't think I'm going to just hop on there and do that yet. I'm going to kind of stop and listen. I told him I would go on, but I decided not to. And the couple days later, I decided not to. And then the next day they were saying, well, somebody was supposed to come on last night and talk, but they didn't show up. And I told them I was listening in the mornings. I decided just to kind of hold back a little bit. And so I'm at the grocery store, and I'd look out there and I said, oh, what's his name? I know that guy. That's the guy that's in the radios I was talking to, because I already knew who he was and knew what he looked like anyway. So I sat there, and he got out of the car, and then his daughter got out of the car, and then all of a sudden our local little I'll just say person I don't want to be involved with, okay, that I wouldn't want to be around, gets out of the car. I'm like, okay, my instincts serve me well, because when you have a call sign, typically you have your address that's also searchable through that call sign, depending on where that license was mailed to. So if I'm out there bragging about, well, I got blah 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 and I got this or that, he's going to go on there and find my call sign. He's going to find my address. He's going to show up where I'm at. Then another situation, a buddy of mine had this beautiful radio set up, like high frequency radio, just everything set up, massive power supply. Had a giant antenna poured in his backyard with cement. I mean, beautiful antenna. And I'm on a 1.5 watt talking on simplex, and he's talking to me. I can barely hear him. And then somebody comes on, and I said, well, I don't know. I think there's something wrong with my radio, because obviously you should be walking on me with that massive antenna. You can barely hear me. And a buddy of mine, another guy I know on ham radio, popped up and said, I can hear you just fine. He's really, really garbled, and I can't hear him. I said, okay. So eventually he couldn't really sort out the problem on simplex, but all I know is some real nice other ham operators came in and helped him set up his equipment. Isn't that nice of them? So anyway, I just figured, why would I want something for tactical communications that is going to be constantly walked on, constantly having to give a call sign, which an address isn't attached to, and something just for localized, like checking on the side of the house or checking, doing security or something like that. I rather kind of rely on something real simple where I can pass quick commands to a small party of people and not worry about some guy coming on a repeater. So unless I own the repeater, unless it's like some type of business radio that I pay for. But for stuff like this, I really like it a lot. So I'm just going to shut my mouth and go into opening this up. So I'm going to save this for last. I'm going to open whatever this is first. It is Retevis. I don't know how to say that. It'll be on the video. So here is a charger system. Now it's kind of funny because my same friend of mine, we both bought Family Radio Service radios before he got his big fancy ham setup with the big antenna. And we were actually talking on Family Radio Service, and he was not I want to say maybe it was like 2-3 blocks over, and supposedly they got like some of these, not these per se, but some of them have pretty nice range, and he was still getting through to me even though we had a couple streets of houses in our way. He was still getting into me about not 2 miles, about a mile away. He was still kind of hitting my antenna, and so they're not. I don't think they can be all bad. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up here, and Shenzhen Retevis Technology Incorporated. Retevis. That's what it is. Retevis. So I open these up, and they have like this real dirty bag on the outside. It's dusty. So I guess they wrap them in those to keep it clean. So here's the radios themselves. Here's the batteries. I might just go ahead and just charge 2 of them up. I don't know if I'm going to charge all 3. I might just leave all 3 outside of the case. So there's the radio. Just goes in the charger there. There's a little lanyard loop that goes in. Here's another battery. So what kind of battery is that? DC 3.7 volts capacity. L-ion, lithium-ion battery. So that's pretty cool. So I don't know if I'm gonna start up all 6 of these or not, but there's a total of 6 handhelds in here in this package. I'm probably just going to start two now. See, here's the series of microphones that come with it. And let's just pull one of these out and look at it. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably just going to charge. I don't know, I might charge four of them, put two here in the house, and then put two out in the... I guess this is a Kenwood style jack. So I guess this plugs in over here. Right there on the side. So I got this mic set up. It's like a press to talk mic. It has a little microphone set up. I can talk into the radio, talk here. So there's that. So the second accessory I got is the throat mic. And a long time ago, you know, growing up in the 1990s, you see a lot of these in the movies. You know, the Navy SEALs wore them, and also it was known as, they had a throat mic that was going around. It was known as the Lash headset. And Lash stood for Los Angeles SWAT headset. But I think it was originally made by 3M, and I might actually in the coming weeks, if I get enough money and buy an authentic 3M and get a adapter to move to the Kenwood type jack and go ahead and rock that. But I'm going to try this out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a series of tests. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to charge a couple of these up. I'm going to put one in the garage with a camcorder in front of it. Then I'm going to take my Sony RX2 camera out with me, and I'm going to go ahead and talk into it. You know, and I'm going to go maybe like in half-mile increments. I'm going to drive the truck, get a couple streets away, key up, talking to the mic, talking to it. I'll have the camera waiting at home playing. I only got about 50 minutes of time on here, so maybe I'll just do it over a period of like 10 minutes, and I'll edit it out, and I'll just kind of call off like, this is how far I am approximately from the next radio. Can you still hear me? And then I'll plug in this mic here with this around my throat. Then I'll press the talk and see how it sounds on the throat mic, because I never used the throat mic before. This is going to be pretty interesting. So we'll try that out, and we'll see where it goes from there. So I'm going to charge these up. Like I say, I'm probably only going to charge two up right now. And we're going to probably go ahead and see where it goes from there. You know, if anything else happens where, you know, we need more than two radios, and I'll go ahead and I'll just put the batteries in and charge them as I need them. So we'll see how it charges with just two batteries. But feels good in the hand though, you know. So I'm going to give this a go, and we'll see where it goes. We got two walkie-talkies. One's on the throat mic, one's by itself. So I'll go ahead and speak into the one that's loose by itself. Approximately 500 feet, one street over, with houses in the way between me and the walkie-talkie unit. Handheld walkie-talkie. Approximately 500 feet, one street over, with houses in the way of me and the portable handheld FRS. Approximately 500 feet from the handheld FRS, one street over, with houses in the way on the throat mic. On the throat mic, approximately 500 feet away, houses in the way. So I got two in here. That's why you're hearing that echo, because I just don't want to unhook the throat mic every time I talk. So, all right, on to the next stop. Approximately 500 feet, one street over, with houses in the way between me and the walkie-talkie unit, handheld walkie-talkie. Approximately 500 feet, one street over, with houses in the way of me and the portable handheld FRS. Approximately 500 feet from the handheld FRS, one street over, with houses in the way on the throat mic. On the throat mic, approximately 500 feet away, houses in the way. Approximately 2 streets over, approximately 800 and... Approximately 2 streets over, approximately 824 feet on the handheld FRS. Two streets over, 824 feet, approximately, on the throat mic. 2 streets over, approximately 824 feet. Alrighty, so I'm going to narrate the rest of the way out. My camera got a little overheated, the second small 4K camera I had, so I just decided to set it to the side, and I'm going to go ahead and narrate. 824 feet on that second street. Remember, guys, houses in the way the whole time there. You know, I'm like on the next block over, and I was already on the next block over. Now I'm like on the other block over, but you know, 824 feet with houses in the way. And this, got to keep remembering, this unit that I'm talking to here is in a garage with the door down in the garage. So far, it's not too bad. 3 streets over, approximately 387.2 yards on the handheld. 3 streets over, approximately 387 feet, approximately 3 streets over, 387.2 yards on the throat mic. On the throat mic, 3 streets. Alrighty, so now there's a third street. That's 387.2 yards. Houses both between me and this walkie-talkie here. So far it's holding its own. Okay, so that's 4 streets over, 501.6 yards, houses in the way. I'm breaking up a little bit, but you can still hear me. I mean, not bad for without using a repeater. You know, it's you know, it is what it is, but it's holding up pretty good. So let's see what the next one sounds like. 5 streets over, approximately 614.24 yards on the handheld. 5 streets over, approximately 614.24 yards on the third mic. Okay, so that's 5 streets over. That was approximately 614.24 yards. Seems to me like the throat mic actually is a little more intelligible when I'm this far out. But, you know, hey, you know, I'm still a couple streets over. And I also got to remember, is this thing not only is in the middle of has houses between me and this unit here. I'm also in my car, so that signal has to get out of the car too. So I mean, you know, not bad. So once again, you know, I'm not running on a repeater. This is just a family radio service, and so far I'm actually liking it pretty good. So there, I'm 6 streets over. I'm approximately 719.84 yards. I'm breaking up, but hey, you know what? I'm still able to call out. I can call out a little bit, and the throat mic seems like it actually makes it. I can kind of hear it a little bit better at longer distances. Now it's starting to break up, but I'm pretty far out. You know, I'm pretty much out of the neighborhood at that point, pretty good. So, you know, ideally, I'm not gonna like, you know, drive around town talking to everybody and their brother on these things, but you know, in the vicinity of my home, in the vicinity of maybe like an estate, I can probably still, you know, make out okay. I still wouldn't know what it does without freestanding structures in the way. You got to remember the whole time there's freestanding structures in the way of me and this radio I'm talking to, calling out of a car and having to hit it while it's inside a garage with the door down. So on a hill-to-hill type of line of sight deal, maybe I can get out a little bit further. It'd be interesting to find out someday, but you know, I'm not going to drive out to the sticks and tag somebody to come with me and hey, can you stand here on the hill? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. And I had 2 more streets planned out. I had another street that went out to 827.2, and I had one street that went out to 1,070 yards. 827.2 yards, but I just didn't do them because I figured, well, they ain't gonna make it anyway. It is kind of breaking up at this point, but you know, for the money, I can't complain. For the money, it's not bad. You know, it's you know, not like I can add a new antenna or nothing to it. But it's doing good. It's not doing too bad, and the throat mic worked pretty good. So I just wish I had a little strap on that throat mic, but all in all, I can't complain. It's been pretty good through this test. So, $29.99 for the throat mic. I just wish I had just wish I had 2 inches of strap with a little bit of an adjustment in the buckle form here. There's Velcro. I had to back this Velcro off. It's still a little snug. But I mean, eventually I could probably buy my own strapping and fix that. But if I could just have a little more strapping on there, that would have been pretty cool, I think. But, you know, it worked. It did its job. And the 6-pack here was $119. And for a group of radios, it's not too... it's pretty good, you know. I got out there pretty far, and there's, like I say, there's houses in the way the whole time. It's not like I'm on the tippy top of a hill talking to somebody else on another tippy top of a hill. And I mean, this thing really went through some wood and stucco, and you know, it called out of my car and went you know, about 2 or 3 blocks over, and then hit my radio in here in my garage with the door down. So, you know, not half bad. I was actually pretty impressed. So that's the Retevis. And what I wound up doing later is I might actually order a couple more on singles and just keep those as dedicated on all the time. I can use those. But in this, I might actually just take the batteries off and pack it away, because I really don't have space up here to keep this. But if something were to happen, a major occurrence were to happen, and I needed communications between me, family members, or other group members, yeah, this thing's going to come out, and I'll find room for it. And you know, I can give three of these out, and then keep 3 on charge, and then they bring them back and charge them, and give 3 of these out. So not too shabby there. I think it performed very well, to tell you the truth, and not too bad at all. So, alrighty, guys, you guys have a good one, and I'll see you on the next one. And hey, you know what? If you get a deal on radios that work, don't let people hate on it. Don't worry about the haters. Just let the haters worry about you. All right? See you on the next one.